Ladies and gentlemen, starting a photo booth rental business is an exciting time. So today I'm meeting with Demetrius. He's barely getting started. Like literally he's at ground zero right now, but that's okay because he had some great questions that he brought up today. So enjoy the questions, enjoy the answers, enjoy the insight. If you guys want to join the Patreon page, baby, the link is in the description box below. And so I am looking forward to seeing how Demetrius's photo booth journey unfolds, because starting a photo booth business, guys, is not that expensive. In fact, if you want to get started now, use my suppliers. I'm sharing my suppliers with you guys. I'm not holding anything back or trying to keep things a secret. I buy directly from the manufacturer, so that's how I'm able to save so much money every time I purchased a photo booth. So enjoy the video. Big shout out to Demetrius for allowing us to make this video public. Enjoy the video again. I said that too many times, but that's okay, my friend. Good luck on your next event.
The last meeting that we had, when I heard you mention that you had both a DBA and an LLC, I was a little bit confused as to which one I should do first. So I figured before I start my Google profile or anything like that, I figured I'd reach out to you to see, if you would be able to direct me in, the best way to go as far as that.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. So, for example, say you are on a very tight budget and you're just testing out the market. You feel like, I am curious enough to put some money down and I want to see if I can maybe bring in $1,000 extra a month. Then you might want to take the route of just a DBA, doing business as, right? And then everything is linked to Demetrius Woodley, right? Now,
Okay.
say for example, you thought, well, I have, I have a vision for my business, and I know that I'm going to be in business for a while. No matter what, I'm going to push through because I want to develop this into an actual business. It's not so much a side gig or a side hustle.
Okay.
Then there'll be benefits from having an LLC, because with an LLC, what you can do now is, once you get the LLC, and here in California, it's about $800 a year for the registration of the LLC. But the
Okay.
benefits of an LLC, and then you always want to talk to a tax professional, but I'll just tell you from my experience why I decided to do it this way, is because with the LLC, then I can get an EIN number, and then I can open up a banking account for my business. And then while I'm at the banking center opening up my bank account with the EIN number, I can also apply for a business credit card. So now the LLC, whether it's videography, photography, a party rental business, whatever you decide to make it, it
Mm-hmm.
has its own entity now. And not just that, but it's going to start building its very own credit aside of your personal credit. And with the LLC, it's a limited liable company, which means that if something does occur during an event, you know, you're going to be liable to a certain extent. They can't collect all of your assets because you are separated from your LLC. So I like the idea of an LLC just because it's so easy to set up. And also you can later on, if you have children, you can pass the LLC on to them, kind of like as an inheritance as well. And so
Okay.
then your LLC has what you would call kind of like a legacy. There you go. So
Okay.
you
Right.
can treat it like a legacy, and it grows old with whoever you ended up passing it to. So that's one cool thing about the LLC. And then on top of that, Demetrius, once you actually start the LLC, if you want to take a different business venture, say you want to take some of the profits from your LLC and start another business, well, you
Mm-hmm.
can start another business under that LLC as a DBA. So your LLC becomes the umbrella. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you
Okay.
start a DBA underneath the umbrella of your LLC.
Okay, that's how it works. Okay, all right, okay, all right. So I'm just gonna go right ahead with the LLC and just get that out the way and get everything solidified with that.
Mhm. I used on Sunday, I know I went over it pretty quickly, but I used Swift filings.
Yeah, I was watching that.
Yeah, just because everything was done on my laptop while I was out in Big Bear. And so if that's the route you want to take, it was just really easy for me to do it that way, because they also do the ad, because when you establish a DBA or LLC, you have to register it, and they do that for you. Plus they put it on the papers and newspaper. I don't know why they still do that to this day. To me, it's prehistoric, but that's just a process.
So is that like what the register agent comes in at?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I was gonna do, I was gonna go with ink file, and I was just gonna get like a register agent for a year.
Mhm.
and then that way, to me, it would simplify it, and then I won't have to try to keep up with all the paperwork and everything like that.
So what the registered agent, what they usually do is that part where they do it when they publish it, that's only a one-time fee. It shouldn't be a reoccurring payment. The only reoccurring payment that I know about for LLC is
Mhm.
the registration of the business every annual.
Oh, the annual. Okay, okay, all right. Well, maybe this is a different service that they're offering. I have to look into it and just search individually of what the breakdown is.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So once
Okay.
once you have that going, right? And also I
Mhm.
always tell folks, you know, and this goes back to your vision, come up with a name that's universal if you feel like it's going to be bigger than what you think it is right now. Like for example, if you start an LLC and you just called it 360 Photo Booth Productions,
Mhm.
that's an LLC you're paying for, then that means that LLC has to revolve really around its title, especially if you decide to use that title in your Google profile, which is why I wanted to have
Okay.
a conversation with you today. Because say, for example, do you have any names in mind right now, Demetrius?
Yeah, I was thinking about my fiance and I were thinking about all around memories.
All Around Memories LLC, or just All Around Memories?
Well, I'm not sure if I need to add the LLC. That's where it was a little confusing at.
You
It
don't.
said, oh, I don't.
No, you don't. You don't have to add it to the actual name, because when you file it, it's already filed under an LLC, or it could be an S corp or a C corp, or like we mentioned earlier, even a DBA if you decide to go that route. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'll probably go with the LLC, the All Around Memories LLC.
Yeah, it's entire, so All Around Memories, right? And then so
Mhm.
that'll be the umbrella. And then
Right.
down the road, if like I said, if you want to open up a secondary business, then that means that people can cut you a check to that secondary business name. And even though it's not All Around Memories, the bank that you open up the account with will still accept that check into that banking account, even though they're not the same name, because it's under the LLC.
I see. Okay. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Okay.
And
That's very
another cool thing to that's worth bringing up is, from I'll take myself as an example. So I do want to start offering more types of services and start gearing more towards the party rental concept versus just the photo booths. Just because I feel like us as photo booth operators, we are missing out on some opportunities, because those parties and those events that we attend, we could have provided more than just a photo booth. But you want to ask yourself, why am I not providing tables, chairs, projectors, microphones, speakers, and things of that nature, bouncers, canopies, tents, all that stuff, right? So I thought to myself, if I'm already in the industry, I already have a booking system, I have a website, all I have to do is just buy a few items and start promoting them. And then all of a sudden, it's money and well invested, because they're going to get out, rent it out a few times a week to a few times a month, maybe just a couple times a year. But fact is, you have you have assets that are working for you versus just having money stored away. And so you want to start testing different services to see in your area what has the highest demand and what you can double down on.
Okay. Okay. That's what I was picking up from you yesterday when you was mentioning, because I've been watching you for a while. So I've
Yeah.
been noticing, and I actually got my 4 foot RGB lights, the color ones from Jeremy.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. But I want to incorporate, like you said, I want to incorporate the messaging phone, and then also the cold sparks. I was looking into those.
What, I forget, what state are you in?
I'm in Buffalo, New York.
Check with the fire marshal to see if you're gonna need the pyrotech license. Over here in
Okay.
California, it's needed, so I discontinued that service, and it breaks my heart because those cold spark machines were making some decent money, man. I remember going
Okay.
to weddings just for like maybe less than 2 hours, and then
Uh-huh.
just firing them off for the entrance and for the main dance, and then
Yeah.
pack it up, good to go, brother. Make $400 in like less than 2 hours. So
Okay. Yeah, I've been seeing that. I've been watching you. So you need you in California, you would need a license, or what is it?
yes, so even though it's a firework simulation and it's just
Uh-huh.
sparks, for
Yeah.
some reason it was still categorized as pyrotech. And unfortunately, even the gentleman I was talking to on the phone, he said, yeah, it totally sucks. He said, because I know exactly what those are. In fact, when they came out, he said, I wanted to get them just for my home. So when we watch the football team, someone scores a touchdown, just turn them on,
That's pretty cool.
use them indoors, outdoors. And he said, so, but unfortunately, he said, here in California, you would need a pyrotech license. So I said, well, what does that consist of? He said, if you're a small business owner, I don't recommend it because it's going to take a couple of years to acquire that license. And on top of the license, you're going to need a permit every single time you go to a venue to use them.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so this is
Okay.
for California. So before you jump into those cold sparks, Demetrius, just,
Okay.
just call around and get a little info that's relevant to where you reside, man.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you. And that was another question I was going to ask you is like when you go to venues, do you need license? Do you need insurance or I figured I would probably get into that when I deal with the venues, but I figured I want to have a heads up before I get to that point. But I think that steps down the line. I'll just take it one step at a time.
Yeah, so let me see, some of the events that I have are backyard boogies.
Okay.
Those are local. Those are fun. But then you end up having events at larger venues that could consist of like the Marriott or a convention center, school grounds. And you'll notice that some of your client base, some of their administrative team will request an insurance policy. And this actually just happened to me I think it was last week, someone that had booked, they said, hey, David, that building that we're renting out, it's relatively a new building. So they're asking for $2 million general liability insurance. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. Let me send you the copy. And it's great
Mhm.
because I have Thimble, Demetrius, and with Thimble, I just went from 1 million to 2 million, and I'm still paying like close to $60 a month for that beautiful insurance that I can just send to whoever books me, man. That's on Thimble. I'll send you the link so that you can go and get a quote.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thimble. All right.
I'll put it in the chat here.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's see. Let me know if you click when you click on this link, if it actually takes you to the actual site there. Here you go.
Okay. So just click on it. Let me see.
See if it opens up the Thimble website, and then you can just later on when you have a
Yep.
minute. Yeah, all right.
Yep.
So if you go, just get a quote. Uh, you know,
Okay.
it's always good to get a couple of quotes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do. We'll do. Got it.
And,
Okay.
and then and then on top of that, right? So these are great questions you're bringing up. Um, these are exciting questions too, man, because I remember I had these questions in the back of my mind when I was getting started, and it's like you want to continue moving forward, but you don't want to take two steps back just in case
That
you weren't
that
calculated enough and then you get punished by experience, but then you have experience. You get what I'm saying? So
right. Yep. Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
So so for example, your Google profile, Demetrius, like and like I said, it's whatever you decide as far as your LLC or DBA.
Okay.
The most important part right now of a Google profile, like I was mentioning earlier on Sunday, is try to have it match your business name. Have your business name within your Google profile, and then that main keyword, like that main service you're going to provide. So, for
Okay.
example, did you say all around memories?
Yes. All around memories.
So a good one would be all around memories slash photo booth rental, or vice versa, photo booth rental, all around memories. That'll be on the Google profile. So if Google ever says, hey, can you provide us with like documentation to show that you're an actual business, then
Okay.
all you have to do is send them that paperwork that you're gonna be filing pretty soon, and you should be good as gold.
Ah. Okay. Okay. All
Because I
right.
talked I talked to some people, and unfortunately they just went for it. They just, they here's the thing. Everyone's different, as far as we have people that are planners, plotters, and then we have doers and thinkers, people that overthink, people that just go for it. So the people that just went for it, they say they got flagged by Google. Now their Google
Okay.
profile is going to be suspended until they can provide proper documentation to show that they are a legit business. So even though they got started and they probably have like 16 events underneath their belt and they were getting reviews, now that Google profile is not showing, it's suspended until they can furnish those documents or whatever Google decides to ask for. So this is good that you're getting this thing down like piece by piece so that you won't have any hiccups along the way. And if you do, they're going to be minor. I mean, small things, not even related to Google. But I just want you to be very aware of that part because Google's
Okay.
going to be your bread and butter.
Okay. Okay. Will do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, okay. So the keyword. All right.
And another thing here, let's do something really quick while we're having this conversation here. Let's do this. I'm going to jump over to.
Yeah, because I tried to look at the competition in my area, and I don't know. It wasn't really like how you search and how I search was two different ways. It was like two places that popped up, but I don't see that many.
The best way to do it, and I'm going to do it right now, is going to your new incognito window.
Oh.
That way your location doesn't really dictate what gets pulled up. What's going to get pulled up is going to be relevant to the actual search and not where you're searching from. So I did the new incognito. Now I'm going to go into the Google. Do Google. And what city are you in again, Demetrius?
Well, I'm in Hamburg, New York, but the major city is Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York. So when I go to type in photo booth rental, Buffalo, New York, just like that, let's see what we get. Let's see. Yeah, so we're just getting a couple of websites right here on my left. Let's see. I'm going to continue scrolling down into something that's relevant to the conversation pops up. So nothing's popping up. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually open up Google Maps and type in booth rental, Buffalo, New York. And so let me zoom in a little bit here. Let me make this a little larger as well.
Okay.
This looks like home to you. Are we getting there?
Yep, right there.
All right. So you say around this area right here?
Yeah, a little bit further south. Yep, where it says Hamburg. Right down, like south east. That's Canada. So you go like where all those red dots is.
This way?
Yep, right by the water. Right by the water line.
Right here.
Yep, right there.
All
Yep.
right, sweet. So
Exactly there.
this is what I'll do. I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit more because I see you right here. And then I'm going to go to search in this area.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is too good to be true, man, but when I went to search area, there's no photo booths popping up right here. If that's the case, let's just double check because if that's the case, man, you are going to have an easy time getting leads. Let's see.
Okay.
Wow. Really? This happens sometimes. Sometimes I get folks that start businesses in areas where there's almost no competition, man.
I guess that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, brother. So I'm not seeing any. Here, let's do this. That's it. Yeah, that's dope, man. So this entire area right here, Demetrius,
Okay. Yeah.
once you get your Google set up and you set it up correctly, then
Okay.
you're going to be ranking really easily in this entire area, and then you can continue spreading out to this area, even into this busy area. I figured like probably right here is where we have the most population, like in the city area, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, this entire area right here, as you can see, there's not a lot of shops pulled. So for example, do this, right? You have your phone there with you.
I'm actually on my phone because I couldn't figure out how to work the volume
No worries.
on my laptop.
Do this when we get off on your phone. Just go to Google Maps and just type in photo booth rental, and then your
Okay.
phone, because you're right here, your phone is going to show you the closest photo booth rental businesses.
Okay.
And if it doesn't show you, too many, and it starts showing you the ones that are actually way out here, then that's
Hmm.
accurate. That means that in your area you don't have a lot of competition,
Okay.
which means it'll
Okay.
be easier for you to rank and easier for you to generate leads much faster.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So here, let's look at this example right here. So you notice to put the Pioneer Experience. So that's probably the business name. And then they type in the keywords 360 photo booth and then photo booth rental. So it'll be something similar like this. And I can tell these guys, they know what they're doing because they have 36 reviews and they're 5 stars. And they're
Okay.
also in the right category. So when you choose a
Uh,
category, you want to select photo booth. And then maybe after some time, it could even be photo booth and party rental as well. So you fall into 2 categories.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so these are the guys right here that looks like they're doing a good job. But that's I don't want to overwhelm you with too much stuff right now, Demetrius. I,
Okay.
I
Okay.
I think the questions that you asked were questions that are solid, and
Okay.
the answers that I gave you are like simple steps to just kind of get started already and get the ball rolling.
Okay.
But other than that, before we get off, is there something else that you had in mind that you wanted to talk to me about?
Yeah, just one more question. So
Okay.
now I remember this is a little bit further down the line, but it's just been on my brain. I
Mhm.
remember yesterday you said you was mentioning something about how you pretty much in your area had the leads sold up, so you were like middleman jobs out. So my question was how you might have answered that question, but how does that reflect? So say I refer, say I get all the leads, right?
Mhm.
And I want to refer something to Pioneer Experience, but they do a horrible job. Where would that review fall? Would that review fall on me, or would that review fall on who would solve their problem?
Yeah, so that's gonna fall on the infrastructure of the agreement on how the lead generation goes. So for me, the safest way of doing it is the client calls you, hey, I need someone for August 12th. You're booked, and your fiance is probably like booked too. So it's like you guys have absolutely no one. Like you just can't do it. So two things
Okay.
are gonna happen. First thing is you're gonna be bummed out. You're gonna be bummed out because you're gonna realize like, man, I could have made an extra 400, $500. But then you realize like, but this is good because this is a good problem. So then you start building relationships around your area with certain operators, right? You call them, you get a feel for their personality, you introduce yourself. That's exactly what I did when I moved out to
Okay.
this area about a year ago. I introduced myself to some of the people that already, and there wasn't too many. So it was like 2 or 3 people that I called. And out of the 3 people that I called, I sent leads a lot to just one specific individual because I felt like we understood each other, and it's just like one of the folks that I was able to get along quite easily.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so to answer your question, how I do it is someone calls, I can't book them, but I usually tell them, I'm really close with some of the other operators or some of the other photo booth rental businesses, and you tell them I'd be more than happy to make some calls and help you out as best as I can. So then the client, the prospect says, wow, if Demetrius can call around and do this for me, kind of like my agent, and all I have to do is wait for him to reply, hey, I found someone, they're available, here's their phone number, let me know if they're a good match for you. So then,
Okay.
so then you reach out to your community and you ask them, hey, are you available on this day? And if they say yes, be like, well, I have a 2 hour available for the city of X, Y, and Z. Would you be interested in taking on it? And they'll be like, heck yeah, man. And then you'll be like, well, it's moving forward, just it's a $100 finder's fee, and we can do this, for as long as we maintain a good relationship. So you can do
Okay.
that. But what's gonna put you in that position of power is getting more reviews and having a higher ranking Google profile than all your competitors.
Okay. Okay. So the goal is to take over Google.
The goal is putting a lot of energy and work into Google and watch Google reward you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Simple enough.